Hello y'all. Today I want to be talking about some cooking tips and tricks. Let's get started. I'm going to look it down a little bit because I'm looking at my computer and I made some notes. So if you're cooking a recipe and it calls for sauteing both onions and garlic, do the onion first. I have done this mistake after mistake after mistake. What I usually do is I put my grease in the pan, and then I put my onions and my garlic in, and my minced garlic end up burning. So I'm like, what in the world? So always cook your onion first, and then you can add your garlic to it. I learned the hard way. And the reason why is the onion takes just a little bit longer to soften up. And the garlic, like I said, just burns so easily. So easily. Come on, finger. Bear with me. Alright, my next tip is add brown sugar to your tomato sauce to make an overall flavor even richer. You just add a tablespoon of it to your tomato sauce and make the flavor pop. That's if you like your spaghetti kind of sweet. Or if you're doing like a pizza, you want just a tiny bit sweet, but I like it either way. To make an oven-baked chicken taste fried, add a bit of mayo to the usual egg and breadcrumbs coating. I usually don't use breadcrumbs. I really haven't tried it all that much with breadcrumbs, but I do like to use just regular flour, and sometimes I mix cornmeal with it. That makes it really good. You should try that. When juicing limes or lemons, cut the bottom off first so that all juices runs through the fruit instead of getting trapped in the rind. Nice. This hack I want to try. I haven't done it before. I've been doing a lot of research on different tips and tricks. Stuff that I haven't used or done yet, and this is one of them. Sprinkle flour on your bacon to reduce grease splatters. Have y'all done that before? Let me know in the comments if you have. Now my sister growing up, she was a bacon lover. Loves bacon. She cooked it in the microwave. My mom fried it for her, then my mom got tired of frying it for her, so they started doing an oven. And they had like this special rack that they just laid it over on it, and it just drips all the grease down into another pan. And it made it so much easier because you can always put aluminum foil on that bottom pan, and easy cleanup. Easy cleanup. Alright, the next one is rinse your rice before cooking to prevent from being clumpy. Now I have problems in the rice area. I'll always get like mushy rice and stuff like that. So I'm going to try that. This is the one I haven't tried, and I definitely need to try that. Most rice is not meant to be cooked without at least one rinse. Give it a wash or two to filter out any debris and surface starches. Good to know. Save the stems hold on, let me reread this. Save the stems of herbs and add them to soups, stews, and stocks while cooking. If you're planning on simmering a stew or soup for a long time, add some leftover herbs. They'll add subtle layer and complexity to your flavor. Let's try that. That's another one I haven't tried. Use a bench scraper to bench. B-E-N-C-H. I almost said the other word. Scraper to easily transfer food from your cutting board to your pan. Shoot, I just get the little knife and just scrape it on in there. That's how I do it. Now this one I could have had last year, because I had grown a lot of watermelon last year, and they didn't get but this big, and they were like really green, like a dark green color. So I was hoping that they would get bigger and bigger and bigger, but it was like weeks and it still just like stayed the same size. So I've always had that question, how do you know when that's right? And for that type of watermelon, it is really hard to tell, to see if that stem is dying off. And I've tried every trick known to man, and even this one. But this is, I think this one's more or less for like the regular big, long, juicy watermelons. And it's starting to make me want a watermelon now. But anyhow, it says, find the sweetest watermelon by looking for the yellow patch and listen for a hollow sound. And going back to that garden I had last year, I would knock on it and it would sound hollow. So I'm like, come on now. I cut it open and it's white. And I heard that there is white insides of watermelons. That there is certain kinds of watermelon like that. But you could tell that it was starting to turn red towards the middle of it, so it was not even close to being right. I tried it and woo, it was tart. Woo wee. It was super tart. Alright. Now I've been wanting to get one of these. Use a flexible spatula to neatly flip over your eggs easily. I'm that type of person where I'm just going to town. It go everywhere. It does. I have a hard time cooking eggs. Let's see here. Now this is a weird tip that I came across. I don't know if this is true. Tell me if y'all have tried this before. Freshen up a stale cookie by placing a piece of bread in a cookie container. That just sounds off the wall to me. I need to try that. The description says if you want to revive your cookie that have gotten tough, simply place them in a container with a fresh piece of soft bread. The cookie will soak up the bread's moisture in no time. I'd like to give that a try. It's quite interesting. And this is another do not overcrowd. Whenever you're frying something, just make sure you're not overcrowding. Say for instance you're cooking fried chicken or even fried okra. Don't put a whole bunch in that pan. Give it some space to cook evenly. Let the heat distribute evenly to each piece of food that you're cooking. Because if you undercook chicken, it could be possibly raw, depending on what size it is, and that could lead to health risk. Or it'll change the flavor completely, depending on what you're cooking. Some things I like to kind of undercook, especially when it's like zucchini or something like that, because the insides get really, really mushy, and I have a texture problem. And I can't do that. I cannot do that at all. So if you want to brown something, don't overcrowd your pan. That goes with anything that you're cooking. Just make sure you have space in between your, like, say for instance you're cooking fish, you're doing 2 fillets. Make sure that they're spaced out evenly. Let's see. After you finish cooking your steak, I already did that one. Alright, this is a good one. After you finish cooking a steak, either it be in a stove or in an oven, grill. I've learned this a long time ago. So, depending on how, I guess it really don't matter on how you want your meat to cook, like medium well, well done. After you cook that meat, put it on a piece of aluminum foil. Make sure the aluminum foil, you can wrap it around that steak. And basically you want it to sit for about 5 minutes. No more, no less. And what that does, just like when I was talking about on my other video for the roast, when you're searing it, it locks in that juice. It will make the best steak, hands down. I'm telling you. Try that and let me know when you try it. Let me know, please, in the comments. Okay, this is something that I want to try desperately. I love pies. I love cooking pies. And I always had a problem with, you know, all the butter melting or something like that. And this trick is, when making a pie dough, use a grater to get many chunks of butter. I am so trying this. This is so exciting. Grater is a perfect tool if you're making pie dough, where small intact chunks of coldish butter translate to flakier crust. I am definitely trying that. See, I get so excited when I talk about food. I love food. Alright, let's go to the next one. Oh, I haven't tried this before either. Man, I'm finding all kinds of stuff that I haven't seen before. When making fried rice, prep the pan by cooking the egg in it first. Now, I really want to try that. I love me some fried rice. And that might be another video I'm going to be doing soon. You can write that down before I forget. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. So, resize your sheet pan with a bit of aluminum foil. What basically this is showing, I wish I could turn this around and so you can see what I'm talking about. They got a cookie sheet and they got their dough rolled out and sat in this cookie sheet. Well, it's got about 6 inches where they want it a little bit smaller, so they had made a wall or a barrier for the dough to go up on, like it would be on the actual pan. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't think about doing that. This needs to explain itself. When it comes to heat, don't feel the need to flip things over or steer them constantly. Unless the recipe calls for it, it's often to your determination to check on your food every 2 minutes. what I basically do anyway. But if you're a newbie and you're just learning how to cook, just read the instructions on your recipe. They basically tell you if you need to check on your food constantly or sparingly. I've seen that word in a recipe before. Basically, I do mine, like if I'm looking at chicken or I'm frying, I'll lift up a little bit after 2 minutes. Usually it's about done when you do it like that. Alright, well, I'm not seeing any more tips and tricks, so I believe that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. If there's anything you would like or recommend as a recipe for me to try, please leave it in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you are one of my subscribers, thank you. And make sure you hit that notification bell where you can see all my uploads. I do it in weird hours because I work weird hours. So, y'all have a lovely night.